This is the GTX 980. This was an absolute powerhouse in 2014. This is an absolute powerhouse in 2014. And let's see how it holds up today in 2025. So let's begin. These older cards have a different design to what we have today in modern graphics cards. So I'll switch over to future me to see inside. Okay, now that I've done all my testing, we can open this thing up. First we'll remove the screws, then we'll look in the inside. Okay, got all the screws out. So finally, once you get these connectors off, we should be able to just remove it. When we open this thing up, this doesn't really have a usual design to what we see now. It has all of its cooling aimed towards the GPU die itself, like here, which is not exactly the same as what we have now. Here, this is the 6750 XT cooler. It's got the main GPU die cooler and the power cooler, and it has on the side some bits for RAM, which this just does not have. The GTX 980 has 2048 cores, 128 TOPS, 64 ROPS, 4GB of GDDR5 memory, and a 256-bit bus. For the age, it's actually really good, apart from the VRAM. But the good thing is, it uses one HDMI 2 and 3 DisplayPort 1.2s, which is compatible with basically everything out here, and it has a DVI port too for all the older monitors. It uses a PCIe 3x16 connector. So now let's see what's underneath this bit here, if we can. Okay, it just seems to be another heatsink, which is used to cool all the power delivery, I'm guessing this is. Yeah, it looks about right. Doesn't cool these capacitors though. Now let's see what's under this. And that's connected to, okay. These are some long screws. Okay, so now that I got that off, let's see what's inside. The thermal pads are keeping these stuck together, so I'm finding it quite hard to get this off while trying not to break it. Oh no, got thermal paste in my hand. Now let's see what's underneath this. It's just the VRAM, nothing else. All of this, it's for the VRAM. It's got the SLI port back here, which we will not be using because I don't have another one. Uses in 2 A-pins for power delivery, but it does use 200 watts, so that is to be expected. Overall, it looks quite nice. Now we'll put this back together and put it for some B-roll. So now let's put this thing in a test bench.
So this is the test bench. It's got an i5 13600KF, 32 gigs of DDR4 4000 MHz RAM on an NZXT N5 Z690 motherboard, and it's got a crucial 1TB E3 Plus NVMe SSD. First, we have Cyberpunk, and just moving around, it has a playable 40 FPS on low settings. Next, we have Ready or Not. It's another playable experience at 45 FPS at medium settings. Now we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It gets a 45 FPS average at max settings. And last in our gauntlet of tests is BeamNG Drive. At low settings, it gets a staggering 150 FPS, with peaks up to 200. So to answer a question, is the GTX 980 good in 2025? And the answer is yeah, especially if you're playing esports games. It's a perfectly capable graphics card, especially when you're running it at 1080p and with a good CPU. You can get some really good FPS in some esports titles. That's really what you should be aiming for. Nothing really more than that, or you'll be expecting too much from actually more than a decade old graphics card, depending on how much you pay for it. I got mine for $50 and I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas of what I should do in the future videos, write down in the comments and I'll be sure to read all of them.